Let's go. Thursday night, we are off and rolling. 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Washington Commanders at Chicago Bears. We're at Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois. So you were saying wind. I'm gonna have to because I have 48 Fahrenheit, 9 mile per hour wind.
It depends where you look. Some
Yeah,
people have really latched onto the weather's gonna suck. And it's just like I do this every week with golf too, where it's like, oh, I have like 9 different forecasts. So I don't know if it's gonna be that shitty. I
I
think
don't think
I
it
think it's
will.
gonna be okay. I think it just might be the quarterbacks.
Well, the wind. So this is the situation right now at the Weather Network, and it's crucial. As we break
Yeah.
this down, at 7 a.m. it's 9 miles per hour. At 10 a.m., it gets to 12 miles per hour. At 1 p.m., 16 miles per hour. At 4 p.m., 17 miles per hour. So it starts dying down. It starts dying down. By 10 p.m., it's back to 8 miles per hour. At 7 p.m., it's at 11 miles per hour. So
Yeah. So I guess it depends if it does die down in the evening or not. We don't know if the wind is gonna blow, but we do know Carson Wentz may blow. And that's I think that's kind of written in stone here. This game is a pick 'em. I think it's been +1 on both sides throughout the market. I don't know what do you have for an opener of this one?
Pinnacle opened this up Sunday night at 7:25 p.m. with the Bears -1, -108, and now they're -1, -106. So, but you're right. There was a time yesterday morning when Washington became slight favorites. Let me move over to that money line. It was very yes, no. There was a time Monday morning Washington became the favorites in this game, quite big actually. -118 they got up to, and Chicago got to +106. Now there's been buyback on the Bears. From a total perspective, it opened up at 39.5. It's now sitting at 38.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this spot. We have 13,958 tickets in. 28% of the tickets, 34% of the cash is on Washington. Look, the Sharps have been on Washington consistently and have been losing because of that. And when we go over to the total, 71% of tickets and 86% of cash is on the under. Chip Plylar says the Bears can't fucking score. And Birdie says, yes, Sunday night Washington was -1. Peyton Weems says, I feel Wentz gets this one. There's Burgundy Bets and Brooklyn Funk Project. TJ Parks, thank you guys all for joining us. The look-ahead line before the season started was Washington as a 2.5-point road favorite. A lot has changed since then. The Commanders come in off their fourth straight loss, 21-17 home setback to the Titans. They were driving late when Carson Wentz was intercepted at the goal line by David Long Jr. with 6 seconds on the clock. Wentz sixth interception of the season, 25-38, 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. De'Ami Brown caught 2 passes for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. Terry McLaurin, 5 catches for 76 yards. Curtis Samuel, 6 for 62. They were unable to get anything on the ground. Brian Robertson returned 6 weeks after being shot twice, and he struggled. He ran 9 times for 22 yards. Antonio Gibson, 3 carries for 6 yards. The Commanders were 1 of 11 on third down, and it just feels, Andy, like their offense gets worse every week. I mean, they scored 27 and 28 points in the opening 2 games of the season. They've gone for a combined 35 over the last 3. The defense was strong. Montez Sweat, 6 tackles, 3 for a loss, 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. They had 5 sacks and 13 quarterback hits, still without right tackle Sam Cosmi. And this Commanders team has been lit up by the best wideouts in the game. They've allowed 6 passes of 40 or more yards. They've allowed 7 different wide receivers to go for 60 or more. So let's start with this, Andy. Can the Fields-Mooney combo take advantage of that?
Yeah, it's not like the worst defense in the league. I think they're ranked right around 20th. It's a bad defense, and they've been exposed versus, like you said, good wide receivers. There aren't any on the Bears. Washington is a little deeper there, but even now, like Dotson's going to miss more time. They've got other guys dinged up. Like you said, Cosmi's hurt. Wentz is on the injury report now with his shoulder. Mm-hmm. Apparently, it was more of a walkthrough with a little bit of throwing. He grabbed his shoulders a couple times. So I'm super not interested in betting that. Like my numbers are very confused by these 2 offenses. Like I don't run into Every year we run into offenses that play this poorly, I guess. Maybe not the Bears as far as how little they actually throw the ball in the year of our Lord 2022. But to see them both matched up, my numbers can't make this low enough. Like I would be betting an under if I just trusted my stuff. And it just with the turnover luck and possible weather, and God knows what could happen. Like I feel like you could lose this under on just some squirrely shit. All the unders aren't going to be as easy as last Thursday. People will end up in the end zone. I think I'd lean Commanders and under, but I'm full pass on this game. I want no part of the ugly bug, the bum fight that is.
Justin Fields, 15-21 for a season high, 208 yards, 1 touchdown. The TD pass was his first in 15 quarters in that 29-22 loss at Minnesota. He also ran 8 times, 47 yards. Montgomery returned after missing 1 game with an ankle injury. He caught 4 passes for 62 yards, but he struggled on the ground, 12 carries for 20 yards. Darnell Mooney caught 2 passes for 52 yards. The defense couldn't get pressure on Cousins. They sacked him once. They only hit him 3 times. Kendall Vildor had an interception. Roquan Smith battled through injuries to get 8 tackles. The Vikings were up 21-3 midway through the second, and the Bears defense started playing much, much better. But cornerback Jalen Johnson quad sat out for a second straight game, and linebacker Matthew Adams hurt himself in the third quarter. Finally, the final point on this is 18 of the last 26 games at Soldier Field have gone under. And we have big bets on the under, sharps on the under. But I'm hesitant to move on the under as well. I feel like this is the perfect game to bet live. You'll really get a sense whether they're moving the ball appropriately. The question is, for me, I think I'm pretty confident that Justin Fields will improve as the season goes on. But the Commanders are just getting worse week in and week out. Do you have any faith in Wentz whatsoever to put points on the board or to cover this? You're muted, my man.
I like Justin Fields at certain times. Like when he pulls the ball down and runs with it, that's been great. He got a couple of nice first downs against the Vikings, and I guess I thought Minnesota would have better luck getting pressure on it. They did for parts of the game. That was the thing I had kind of circled in the Minnesota game last week was Minnesota's had faced some really good offensive lines. The Bears is not a good offensive line. I think maybe the Commanders are able to get after Fields. Some of that is not just the offensive line too. He holds onto the ball a little too long when he does, drop back to pass. He's going to run into some sacks. I hate to bet such a shitty team on the road, especially there's a bit of a like, I don't know if you want to call it a schism. Just Ron Rivera asked, why isn't your team as good as the rest of the teams in the division? He said quarterback. That's not a vote of confidence. At that point, you just got to bench him because he knows you have no confidence in him. So, yeah, this is a probably Commanders or nothing. I can't bet the Bears even at home. The way they've looked on offense. And really, the Minnesota defense isn't. I don't have them that highly rated. The garbage points or the comeback, whatever you want. Actually, it wasn't garbage points. They led at one point. The Bears were sort of lively there a little. If they're able to run the ball, they can stay in this. But I think these numbers are pretty much bang on.
I have interest as well in the over. I think I'm going to keep a close eye on how this bangs out. But I am with Sky Dragon thinking about the over. I'm going to wait a little bit longer. That is our Thursday nighter. Papa Kyle says Commodores are a broken team. Brooklyn Funk Project says Washington team total under, but the market is sharp on this game. Coin says Coach Ron doesn't even trust his quarterback, threw him under the bus. There's Jimmy Gomez in the house. I have interest in this over. I might prefer to bet it live. If I see some late legit movement to the over, because look, it kept me off the 49ers Panthers under. I had planned on betting that under, but I saw it moving up, and I think I should start trusting these low totals that start moving up, and I hope to see that here, and I will move live on the over in the Thursday nighter. Let's move on, Andy.